We are now moving to Stephanie Draper. She's the amazing candidate who's this huge district for Senate, Texas Senate. It's District 12. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to this event. I really appreciate you guys for inviting me over here. To tell you a little bit about myself, I am from Louisiana. So when you said something about my state, I had to wait a minute. I have lived in Louisiana all my life, and then I moved to Texas. So here's my story. I am the daughter of Reverend Willie and Jane Guyton. They trained me to work for the people. I grew up helping Dick Gregory in my home state, where we had a Cedar Grove riot out there. When I watched how all of these civil rights activists got out there and they pushed back and they block walked, and I didn't know exactly what block walking was. I just knew it was hot and I didn't like doing all that walking. But I did it because I was learning everything it was that they were teaching me. So we block walked and we pushed back, and I watched how my father would challenge the city councilmen about things that were going on in that community. That's what inspired me. And also my mother. My mother was an advocate for women and children. And that's when they passed, I said, okay, I guess I gotta go pick up where they left off at. So that's what made me decide to go ahead and run as well. I'm married to a veteran. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, if you know any veterans, you got to tip your hat out to them because they put up with a lot of stuff and they have to keep their mouth shut. And that's where I come into play, and I just run my mouth, you know. So now I have 3 kids, and one of my children is right now serving in South Korea. She's in the Army. So recently I was told that my 2 sons, they're getting ready to go. So I have a house full of service members, so the only people that are not serving in a uniform is me and my dog Bentley. But I wanted to make sure that I served in a different way by speaking up for our people. What inspired me to do this was when they decided to take our rights away as women. I have a daughter that I mentioned. I have sisters, and I have nieces, and I have plenty of female friends. And when I look at these ladies, and I'm like, in 1972, Roe versus Wade was valid. And here we are in 2024, and I look at these young ladies, and I'm like, you guys do not have right to say what you do with your bodies. And that's one of the reasons why I had to stand up. I didn't want to, but I did. Because I had to. Because when I looked at my great niece and I'm like, nobody's standing up for her. Auntie's gonna stand up for you. And then, about a couple of months ago, one of my son's friend's sister died over fentanyl poisoning. Her mother is taking it a hard time with that, and also several other people have gone through the same thing. That whole week, we had 3 people that had died of fentanyl. Y'all, we got a problem in this area with fentanyl. I didn't know. I didn't know what fentanyl was. I thought it was something that the hospital gave you. We got to fix that problem, and that's one of the things that I want to do. We also have an issue in our area with homelessness. I don't know if y'all know, we had people living up on the bridge off of 114. When I went to go see if we can get some resources from them, I was told that, hey, we don't have any resources, we're dried up. I couldn't believe that we live in the great state of Texas and we do not have the resources for the homeless problems that we have here. There's not enough resources. They have places like our United Way, Red Cross, but they don't have enough to help everyone. And that's something I want to change. We have enough funds coming through this state to where we can help take care of these homeless people where they're not sleeping up on the bridge or up under one of the homestead places. We got to fix that problem. And that's one of my goals, is I'm going to fix that problem. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves that I have is our public education. I live in Northwest ISD. We just spent a ton of money building this, I call it the Aqua Center that they have, a swimming pool area. We spent a ton of money. And for my opponent to say that he wants to vote for vouchers, I'm voting against that. I'm going to stand against that, and I'm standing with my people because we spend too much money on our proper taxes to make sure that our kids have the best education. In Northwest ISD, they have STEM programs out there. So it does work. When you put money back into the school and give the schools the opportunity to develop these young minds, it works. Vouchers, I'm against it. One of the reasons why I'm against it, because my gentleman up here said Louisiana, he's exactly right. In Shreveport, they had the charter school going on there. They put money off into that. It didn't work. They had more dropouts than they did anything. So what happened to that money? They brought in the gambling system. It's supposed to have helped with the schools. It didn't. A lot of the schools wind up closing and they wind up turning them into charter schools. So I'm totally against vouchers. It does not work. What works is we pay our teachers. We invest in our teachers. We invest in our students. That's what works. And we as parents, we got to also make sure that we show up and support our teachers, support those schools, go to those events, because our teachers matter and so does our kids. We got to pay more attention to what's going on and go to those board meetings, because I'm going to tell y'all something. While we're sleeping, they passing bills on us. And we don't know it until it's on Channel 8 News. We got to start focusing and paying attention to what's going on. And also, I am a licensed insurance agent. Most of my clients are seniors. I can sell wholesale life insurance, I can sell all of that. But when it comes down to my seniors, they cannot pay for their vision or their dental. That's where they come to me. And my question is always, why can't you pay for it through Medicaid? And they say it's too much. You can't. They don't want to. So they go ahead and get it from me. We got to fix Medicaid and Medicare, and I believe that we need to have Medicaid and Medicare for all. And I'm going to tell y'all something else that I'm for. I am for a term limit. Some of these people have been in office too long, and they need to go. They need to go. If you haven't been doing anything, I'm going to say it like this. If you've been in office for 4 years and you haven't done anything and you're not communicating to your people and you're not listening to what your people continually telling you, this is what we stand for, this is what we want, and you keep changing your mind and voting for the other side and putting money into your pockets, we got to get those folks out. They got to go. My opponent does not show up to anything unless it's about his pocket. We got to change that. Me, I don't care about putting money in my pocket. I care about making sure that our future is taken care of, because we got too many issues that's going on and not enough people sitting up there fighting for us. We got economic issues. We have an environment issues that we got to fix. We need clean air. It is sad, and I know I'm running out of time. It's sad. I drove from over in this area and drove over to Dallas, which is part of my area, and I have asthma. And I'm like, oh my God, how in the world do these folks live over here and smell that smell that's over there? You guys have smelled it. It's bad. It's too many companies out there that are polluting that area. But over here, we're clean. We got a problem, and we need to fix it. And you know what? I'm that girl that's going to fix it. I'm going to push it, and I'm going to push, and I have a PhD in nagging. So I'm going to get the job done. And y'all can find me at draperfortexas.com, and I will take volunteers and donations as well.
All right, we have some questions for Ms. Stephanie Draper.
How you doing? So I actually have two questions for you. This one's going to come out of left field, but it's a question that I've got as your district next door neighbor. People keep asking me about whether or not we should support gambling in Texas, whether it should be legalized or not allowed to be legal. And the second question will be, as someone who's running for the Senate, what are your thoughts on the Ken Paxton impeachment process?
Ooh, that's a good one there. Okay, I'm going to start with the gambling because I did grow up in a state of gambling. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm for it for a certain, to a limit. I don't think it should be throughout the whole entire state because they don't put the money back where it should be. Because they said, hey, if you get the gambling here, it's going to go towards education. We got lottos here. Why are we doing vouchers and it's not taking care of the public schools? So my thing is, for your question, is yes and no. I want to be able to, if we do have gambling here in our state, it needs to be in a certain part, in a rural area that's kind of far out that does not affect the cities, because it's better. I also believe that if we have gambling here in our state, we need to make sure there is a bill that's guaranteed that it's going to fund public schools and also public colleges as well. It needs to be able to do that. Now, you asked me the second part about Ken Paxton. He needs to be impeached. He needs to go. All 16 of those members voted for him to stay in office. They all need to go. What he did was wrong. Not only did he disrespect his wife, Ken Paxton, he disrespected the state as well. And we're looking silly because we allowed this man to stay. So those members who didn't agree with what we're agreeing with, they need to go.
Absolutely.
Does that answer your question?
So we had met at the Christmas party, so it was nice seeing you here. Couple questions. One, completely agree, term limits. I could go on and on about that. But you're running against Tan Parker. Neither of you guys have anyone in the primary that you're going against on either side. So it is just going to be you and Tan. With the change in how much rural area is now covered in our Senate district, how do you plan to reach those people who are going to be more on the red side? And what plans do you have to really give Tan a run for his money and go, hey, no more, we're done with you? Because he's been in politics for so long, and especially in this area. So what are your plans? Like, what kind of help are you looking for, and all of that kind of stuff?
Thank you for that.
What can we do to help?
I can answer that question with, I can actually talk to people across the board. I have been getting advice from people that are Republicans. So I've been talking to them, and I'm asking them, what do you need? Y'all, their needs are the same thing as ours. It's the same thing. As far as the rural areas, I have been going out there and visiting, and I'm going to continue on going. I was told not to go out there, but I'm going to go out there anyway because there are people too. I don't care what party you're in. At the end of the day, we're all Texan residents, and I'm going to fight for all of us. So the help that I would need, I need anyone that wants to volunteer to go block walk out there. I know it's going to be scary, but you know what? I'm for it. I will put my boots on and my cowgirl hat on, and I will fit right in with them. A couple of weekends ago, I had to go out to Wise County, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. I thought I was set up, y'all. I did. I thought I was set up. I walk in there, and there's a bunch of sheriffs in there. No offense, Bishop. There was a bunch of sheriffs in there, and they had their cowboy hats on, and I'm looking in the room. I said, I don't see not one Democrat in here. I didn't care. So I sashayed myself on in there, and I told one of the guys, I said, if I would have known you guys was going to be wearing cowboy hats, I would have wore my cowgirl hat and put my boots on. And they just started laughing, and we just started talking, you know, we broke the ice there. And I also wound up speaking to one of the sheriff, and he and his wife, we talked, and they understood where I was coming from, and I understood where they were coming from. And before I left that event, one of the people asked me, how did I feel about the vouchers? And I told her, I said that I can't say that part, but I told her I didn't like it. And she, you know, she gave me a high five, and those folks was over there looking at me like, this little Democrat over here giving somebody a high five that's one of us? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a high five too. When it comes to people, I'm gonna talk to everybody, and I don't care who you are, where you came from, where your background is, because I look at everybody as the same. I don't discriminate. So when it comes down to going to our rural areas, I'm gonna need some volunteers to go out there to go put some signs up there. I'm gonna need some people to help me go block walk out there, because I think if we show them that, hey, we're trying to help all of us and not just one side, we can make a change.
Thank you very much.